You'd never guess how these two men pulled off the robbery. One distracted the restaurant staff, while the other slipped into the kitchen and used a lighter to heat the smoke detector. When the alarm went off, the employees rushed to evacuate the customers. As everyone was exiting, the man tossed the lighter onto the stove, and in seconds, smoke filled the room. By the time the two men stepped outside, an explosion had already torn through the little restaurant. But they hadn't gone to all this trouble to rob a small diner. Their real target was the bank across the street. The fake fire was just to clear out the whole block. Next, they walked into the local police station and locked the officers inside. That way, they could put on masks and walk into the bank without resistance.
All right, give me your gun then.
Everybody sit down. Everybody sit down on the floor.
The two worked perfectly in sync. One controlled the customers and staff inside the bank, while the other stormed the vault and blasted open the safe.
Showtime! Fire in the hole!
Watching money flying everywhere, the two men couldn't hide their glee. Without firing a single shot, they'd pulled off a major score. But what no one knew was that both of them were actually working for the government. Denzel played a narcotics agent who had spent years undercover, embedded with a drug lord to gather evidence. His partner Mark was a Navy operative, also planted in the same cartel but serving a different branch. Because they came from rival agencies, neither knew the other was undercover. Their plan was to steal the drug lord's money from the bank to expose his massive criminal network. Once the job was done, they were each supposed to eliminate the other. Denzel couldn't bring himself to kill Mark and wanted to reveal his true identity, but Mark had already received orders to take Denzel out. Just as Denzel was about to show his badge, Mark shot him in the arm, but he didn't shoot to kill. Mark was an expert marksman, and if he'd wanted Denzel dead, that bullet would have hit his heart. After spending so much time together, Mark had started to see Denzel as a real friend. He let him go in the middle of nowhere and drove off with the cash to report back to his superior. His boss was pleased that Mark had recovered the drug money, but the moment he heard that Mark had let Denzel live, his expression darkened. They had to hunt him down. Mark couldn't disobey orders, so he led them to the spot where he'd last seen Denzel. But by then, Denzel had already hijacked a passing car and disappeared. When they found nothing, the superior turned his anger on Mark, preparing to kill him. But just as they were about to act,